Hello and welcome back to BattleBots Armageddon Season 2. We're back again. We're on episode 10, and if you haven't seen episodes 1 through 9, then you should probably watch them. But let's cut to the chase. We have another action-packed fight card with 8 fantastic fights, 16 robots. We have banger matchups such as Ominous and Monsoon. We have Behemoth versus Duck. We even have Falcon facing off double Jeopardy to secure an argument that's been going on in the Discord community for years. All of that leads up, though, to our main event, which is P1 versus Glitch. 2 robots that you normally wouldn't see in a main event, but we're sure glad they are there, and I'm looking forward to it. But let's not get hasty. Let's cut right to the first fight. We have BreakerBots and we have Malice. Let's check it out. Both of these robots are looking very good. They're both coming off of pretty convincing wins. We have BreakerBots, who first fight was against Pardon My French, which isn't exactly an A-tier opponent, but it was definitely an A-tier win where it just did like an NBA style slam dunk into the out of the arena zone with them. And they're facing up against Malice, who is actually looking at a win against a robot that I would call A-tier. We have Son of Waiachi, and they took him out pretty decisively. But Malice definitely has a challenge here because BreakerBots is designed to take on the horizontals. So it'll be nice to see what happens. And without further ado, let's see what happens. We have Malice and we have BreakerBots. This is definitely an interesting matchup. BreakerBots has a very good anti-horizontal wedge for sure, and Malice just knocked half of it off. Okay.
Well, Malice taking it at the weakest point where it's connected on the side. Well done there for Malice.
Yeah, both these robots are sitting at 1-0, and Malice just is coming off of a win of Son of Waiachi, so they gotta be feeling pretty confident here. BreakerBots still going for it though.
Might as well. BreakerBots all over the place already in this fight. Looking more of the plow now. They're piecing to BreakerBots all over the floor.
Yeah, they're broken box now. I'm sorry.
Wow.
They ruined the fight. Oh, there's a big hit.
There we go.
Cringe or not, this fight is definitely very exciting. Oh, there we go. Oh, BreakerBots getting a lift.
BreakerBots to the flip.
Yeah. And they lost the rest of their wedge. Now they really are just a box.
They will not be getting any more flips, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. Oh, and they lost the wheel. BreakerBots is now driving finicky because it's missing the aforementioned wheel.
Malice tearing BreakerBots apart now.
Oh yeah, you love to see it.
There goes another wheel. There goes more side armor. BreakerBots is now in more parts than what's originally used to build it.
Yeah, you love to see it.
Third wheel.
Yeah.
You know, Malice wants that fourth one.
Yeah, they want that fourth wheel, and they're almost done for. Then they're out. Malice wins. What a fight that was. Right from the get-go, Malice ripped off half of BreakerBots' wedge, and from there, it was, while BreakerBots was still pretty aggressive for the most part, there really wasn't much they could do as Malice started to rip off its wheels and just tear the robot to shreds until eventually they got that knockout blow, and there wasn't really any hope of BreakerBots from there. Good going, Malice. Very destructive win. What a fantastic fight that was. And let's move on to our next fight, which is Deadblow Eternal versus Dragon Slayer. Quite an exciting matchup that we got here. Now, Deadblow Eternal has a win and Dragon Slayer doesn't, but I feel the scorecards are closer than it may seem because both these robots were staring down split decisions in their last fights. Dead Blow showcasing its strength against Ripper in its first fight. It won, but only 2 of the 3 judges felt that it did, so that's something. On the other hand, Dragon Slayer is staring down a loss to Vanguard, which was a very close fight, and that one could have gone either way, but unfortunately they leaned over in favor of Vanguard. It's going to be a close fight, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. So let's hop right to it. Here we have Dead Blow Eternal. We have Dragon Slayer. 2 very cool robots for sure. Dead Blow Eternal. Dead Blow Eternal coming off of a win against Ripper, and Dragon Slayer coming off of a close loss to Vanguard. These aren't exactly champion tier machines yet, but they could be on their way. They both show some promise. Oh, there's a hit from Dragon Slayer. A sick jump from Dead Blow.
2 very quick robots, as you can already tell. Dead Blow Eternal and Dragon Slayer.
Dead Blow just breakdancing. Oh, they're both breakdancing. This is 2005 film, You Got Served.
That it is, Corey. That it is. These 2. They're making some contact, but a lot of it is flipping around. I guess they want style points.
Well, there's no style points in Armageddon, but if there was a style point, then these 2 would definitely be gunning for it right now. I hope Dead Blow taking advantage of
there we go.
Dragon Slayer's driving error and driving away.
Dragon Slayer took a couple swipes at Dead Blow's wheel, but weren't able to connect to it. He took a shot at the hammer there. That Dead Blow got it upside down. Dead Blow very nearly just monster trucked itself out of the arena.
Dead Blow looking good so far. I mean, they both have had their moments, and I honestly don't know what way to judge this fight because it's so close, but it's looking good for both of them at least. At least in the very least, if one of them loses, it won't be a bad loss. Oh, somersaults, okay. Got a minute left on the clock, and Dragon Slayer just chipped its spinner on the wall. That might make it a bit uneven.
Yeah, it's definitely not stable now. You can see it rocking back and forth. Dead Blow trying to take advantage now.
This might be the turning point. This might be where Dead Blow capitalizes, or they drive backwards into the spinner, whichever. But Dragon Slayer's gonna have a hard time with ground game if it's bouncing around like that. 30 seconds left on the clock. Get Dead Blow.
Dead Blow continuing to take strafing runs at Dragon Slayer.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like Dragon Slayer lost more of its spinner. It looks like that might have balanced it out because it doesn't look like they're bouncing around as much. But with 5 seconds left on the clock, this is going to go to the judges, and I don't know what way this is going to go. This was quite the close fight, and I mean, both these robots had a close fight before, so it's good to know that they can keep it going. I mean, you had Dead Blow flipping Dragon Slayer around, and Dragon Slayer getting hits on Dead Blow. This is arguably one of the most evenly matched fights of the season so far, and I really don't know what direction to go in, because it's just such an intense, close fight. I guess if I had to pick one, maybe Dead Blow did slightly more, but it's really hard to say because both robots just really pulled it out, and it was a great fight. Interestingly enough, we have a split decision for this fight. Judge Green Square scored the battle for Dead Blow. Judge Smurf scored the battle in favor of Dragon Slayer. And Judge Zaza scored this battle in favor of the winner, Dead Blow Eternal. And I can't say I disagree. Deadblow moves on to a pretty sturdy 2-0, and hopefully they can get the next fight to be at least a unanimous decision. But I don't think Dragon Slayer is in the worst place as an 0-2, and they still have 2 fights to go, so we'll just have to see. I'm looking forward to seeing them again in their next round. So Deadblow moves on to 2-0, and our next fight is quite the international affair. We have Ominous and we have Monsoon. A matchup I'm quite excited to see, if I do say so myself. Both of these robots are currently at 0-1, but I feel like both these robots definitely have promise. They're both international vertical spinners that have showcased that they're capable of dishing out heavy hits in other competitions. But here in BattleBots Armageddon, I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do here. Now, in their first fights, Monsoon got taken out by Shatter moderately fast, and there's not really any shame in that considering how aggressive Shatter is indeed. Ominous, on the other hand, is in a very shaky spot in my opinion. Their first fight, they started off by dominating Tornado Mur, but then the funny thing happened and they got flipped over by a barely mobile Tornado Mur. So I feel that Ominous definitely has a lot that they need to prove in this fight, and hopefully they can do just that. But they gotta get through Monsoon first, and who knows, beating Monsoon could be a big move, so let's see what happens. Here we have quite the matchup. We have Ominous and Monsoon, 2 international juggernauts, both sitting at some rough losses. This is the second Omni-Wheel bot that Monsoon is fighting. At least Ominous could self-right there after getting flipped over, unlike their last fight where they embarrassingly lost to a barely mobile Tornado Mur.
Yeah, that was certainly a fight that took place.
Yeah, it was a fight that existed for sure.
I think that Monsoon is having a bit of a more even fight right now.
Yeah, getting some good hits there. They're slowing down time too. They're making the lag. Ominous just going for it.
Only thing that's hitting harder than these robots is the frame rate right now. Monsoon,
yeah, that's
over the wall.
This game can't handle Ominous when it's actually doing something.
Apparently
which is
not.
Too much. Ominous just trying to get some hits in, and oh, there we go. Monsoon's finally getting a hit, and they flip Ominous over. Can Ominous get back over? They did earlier, so here's to hoping, but oh, Monsoon helps him a little bit. That's very nice of you. Monsoon's looking like its spinner is a bit unbalanced, so that could prove to be a problem.
A hard time actually staying with the blade pointed forward.
Oh. Well, now it's balanced. That's something.
It had no teeth now, though.
Yeah, it's just a wheel, basically. But with that said, they're looking a lot better now that they're balanced, at least. And Ominous, we're halfway through the fight, and Ominous is upside down again.
Ominous only has half of its weapon remaining.
Yeah, I think that might end up being their unfortunate downfall. Monsoon's just like, let's see what happens.
Yeah, Ominous is trying to right itself. Monsoon watching it.
And I think they're probably out. Yeah, they're done. They're getting counted out. They were, once again, Ominous showing promise in the first half of a fight and then just getting flipped over. That's something they're definitely going to have to work on next season. Or later this season. And they're out. Right out the gate, Monsoon got a pretty good hit onto Ominous. But with that said, Ominous actually had a lot of shining moments in this fight, similar to its first matchup, getting underneath Monsoon and dishing out what I would consider to be pretty good hits. Especially that one. That one was juicy. But Monsoon was resilient and just kept going and kept knocking Ominous around until, unfortunately, it couldn't self-right anymore. And then, once again, Ominous loses by not being able to self-right. We have Monsoon going up to 1-1, and Ominous, unfortunately, I think is in a bit of trouble. They really gotta impress in their next two fights if they want to make the bracket, but anything could happen. Now, speaking of impressing fights, we have two 1-0 robots looking to get their second win. We have Warhawk and we have Yeti. Both robots are looking very good this season. Both of them have KOs against robots that I would consider to be pretty good. We have Yeti, who has a knockout over Eruption, a robot that has won some titles around the globe. And then we have Warhawk, who's took out Perfect Phoenix pretty easily. Another robot that is a reskin of a robot that has lots of titles around the world. So both these robots are definitely currently sitting as giant slayers, and it'll be interesting to see which vertical spinner can prevail, because both of them seem to be able to do some gnarly damage, and I'm very excited to see it. So let's check it out. We have Yeti, we have Warhawk, both at 1-0, and this is an exciting one for sure.
Two highly aggressive vertical spinners here.
Oh, she's just coming off already. Yeah, I mean, Warhawk already lost part of its front. I mean, this could be anyone's fight already. Warhawk keep that momentum going, though, because they're driving this fight very well. That's the one thing about Yeti. It's powerful, but it's hard to drive because it keeps gyroing with that powerful drum.
And now, Warhawk digging into Yeti here. Going behind it.
Ooh, taking off one of Warhawk's forks. Can they bounce back from this? Maybe. Both robots have taken some pretty good damage.
Warhawk aiming for that other wheel on that side.
Oh, they took off part of the drum.
Yeti spawn again itself on top of the wall, and it's almost out of the arena.
Ooh, and he's out. This one was intense. At the beginning, I thought Yeti might have had it when it knocked a piece off of Warhawk within the first few seconds, but then Warhawk just kept attacking Yeti, knocking a wheel off pretty early and just consistently doing damage because Yeti was just too bouncy, I guess. I don't know. But this was a beautiful showing from Warhawk, and if they keep this momentum going, they could very well be looking at a top seed. Warhawk moves on to one of the stronger 2-0s in the field so far, and I'm impressed, but I think Yeti can bounce back. Hopefully one of these other two robots can also bounce back. We have Behemoth and we have Duck. Both of these robots definitely showcase aggression in their first fight, but coincidentally both of them got knocked out by undercutters. We have Behemoth, who lost to Hijinks in the first round after getting its plow ripped off, and unfortunately using its detached plow to ram into Hijinks didn't work. On the other hand, we have Duck, who was pretty dominant of Valkyrie in its debut match, but just couldn't withstand all the hits from that terrifying horizontal spinner. This is going to be the battle of the control bots, and we're going to see who has more control. Let's get right into it. And we have Duck and we have Behemoth. Two control bots. Classic robot and Behemoth, and the brand new iteration of Duck. We got two robots that are sitting at 0-1 right now, but someone's going to get their first win tonight.
Behemoth had a hard time keeping control of Hijink in round one. And Duck
Duck was controlling Valkyrie in its first fight, but then lost at literally the last second. That fight could have gone very differently had it reached the judges, I feel, but the damage was definitely there, and neither of these robots really can do damage.
I think this is a race to see who can get the other out of the arena, or at least in some sort of position where they can't move anymore.
Yeah, it's really gonna come down to flipping. And there you go, we got flipping. There you go, Behemoth. Yeah. Ain't that something? I'll be damned. Duck is pushing Behemoth with his booty, and Behemoth stuck?
Behemoth stuck in the wall?
Oh, nope, Behemoth out. He's ready. He's ready to make the duck fly. Hopefully. I don't know.
One of Behemoth's self-riding arms was wedged in the wall. Got it free though.
Yeah, that would have been tragic to see Behemoth go out like that. No, they get another lift on Duck. And I don't know what they're doing. They're like just eyeing each other down. This isn't a staring contest. This is BattleBots, buddy. Oh, and Duck is continuing to use its butt.
Been an interesting game of control so far between Behemoth and Duck here.
Yeah, game of control between two robots who have no control right now. So, it's oh, Behemoth jumps over Duck, I guess. Sure.
Duck is trying to collect all 5 letters of the word skate, apparently.
Yeah, they're trying to do some tricks. They need to do some sick jumps. Behemoth is just, I don't know who's controlling Behemoth, but they're definitely a bit trigger happy with that flipper for no reason. As you can see.
I feel bad for the judging squad on this one. This one's definitely going to be a little bit of a rougher fight to have to judge. Certainly, Doug.
Yeah, and I mean, less than 30 seconds left. I mean, it's probably going to go to the judges unless we get an out of the arena in the next few seconds, which I don't know if we will, given how these robots have been controlling. And oh, maybe, okay, maybe we do. And Duck get back in. Okay. 10 seconds left on the clock, and I think Duck will be saved by the bell. Yep. They're stuck, but we'll see. This is going to go to the judges. Both of these robots very clearly showcase struggles in this fight. Duck was struggling to lift Behemoth and even get underneath him, and Behemoth was struggling to land some flips for the most part. Eventually they did get some pretty good flips on Duck, and I think that might have been enough to edge it out. Duck was aggressive, but they really didn't do much besides ram into Behemoth, and no robot wants to end their fight out of the arena like Duck did. That's never a good place to be, unfortunately. So we'll have to see what the judges think. We have a unanimous decision from the judges, and the winner of this fight, unsurprisingly, is Behemoth. Good going. Behemoth gets their first dub of the season, and Duck moves down to 0-2, but I think that Duck could theoretically bounce back because both of its wins, it did showcase some aggression. So I'm hopeful that we see some big moves from Duck in its next 2 fights. But we gotta move on to our next fight, which is 2 0-1 robots in Falcon and Double Jeopardy, and they're already in the arena, ready to go, so let's just cut to the chase and get to the fight. Here we have Double Jeopardy and Falcon. 2 robots that are 0-1 right now, but who knows? This is a very contentious fight for both of them.
I think current both robots are looking for their first win
Double Jeopardy.
this season.
And that first shot, and Double Jeopardy just kind of pushing Falcon around.
Double Jeopardy, of course, armed with the cannon in the front. I'm not sure how much they'll do against Falcon, but it's a good way to flip Falcon over now.
Yeah, and he's just gonna shoot Falcon while Falcon can't self-right, because we've seen historically when Falcon gets flipped over, it can't run upside down due to the size of its drums. Now Double Jeopardy's just gonna have fun with it, I guess.
Double Jeopardy taking shots at it, trying to pin it into the corner so it stops moving. this fight almost certainly over. The Falcon still dragging itself across the floor, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a dog wiping its butt. It's just dragging away, you know.
Now it's found itself stuck in the corner. I think this fight's pretty much over with now.
Oh yeah, I don't see this fight. Are you gonna come back or anything? And Falcon is getting counted out.
To take hot shots. Yep, we're done. Falcon. I was like it's going to find its way out. Double Jeopardy just shooting at it.
And it's over. This was a quick one. I mean, there really wasn't anything that Falcon could do, unfortunately, and Double Jeopardy managed to flip them over pretty early on. Frankly, the only reason this wasn't a 20-second long fight was because Double Jeopardy wanted to continue to play with Falcon. Good going, Double Jeopardy. Double Jeopardy gets its first win of the season, and Falcon, unfortunately, drops down to a lifetime Armageddon record of 0-6. Maybe they can get their first win in the next round. We'll have to see. But moving on, we have two robots who are trying to get their first win of the season. We have Ragnarok and we have Shell Shock. Ragnarok's first match, it made it to the bell, but it was pretty dominated throughout the entirety of the fight. It fought Defender, and Defender just controlled the entire fight, and Ragnarok didn't really stand a chance. Now, last season, Ragnarok did have some success, nearly making the bracket, but losing in a play-in match. Shell Shock, on the other hand, has one win on its resume, so we're looking to see if they can get number 2 overall, but it's not looking so hot considering in their first fight they lost in pretty dominant fashion to another grappling lifter bot in Claw Viper in a fight that didn't make the show. But you never know, anything could happen in the box, but if I were a betting man, I would say that the odds are stacked against Shell Shock. Ragnarok has a better record behind it, and that wedge just looks like it's built to take on horizontals, and a full body spinner like Shell Shock, especially with reliability issues like that, is going to have quite the uphill battle. So let's check it out. Let's see how this fight goes. Here we have an interesting matchup. We have Ragnarok and we have Shell Shock. Ragnarok and Shell Shock both at 0-1. Shell Shock lost an untelevised fight to Claw Viper. Ragnarok lost to Defender in its first fight, and both these robots got something to prove. Shell Shock, unfortunately, had a lot of issues spinning up, and they tend to spin out of control, and it looks like they're trying to keep that under control in this fight and being more conservative with their spinner. Or maybe not.
Yeah, as soon as it became unstable, and its baller danced its way over. And I can't imagine Shell Shock's going to get hit by the Ragnarok hammer too much. I think it's too small and too slippery. Ragnarok trying though.
They're back on their wheels, and it looks like they took a piece off of Ragnarok, so it's interesting. And then they spin out of control again. Okay.
Shell Shock.
Shell Shock is doing the thing.
Definitely one. Here, Shell Shock. Kara
sounding like a robot. The robots are getting to her. You know how it is. Got Shell Shock going flying into the wall.
Shell Shock pinned in the corner now.
Yeah, I don't know what direction to judge this fight, because both robots are just kind of like existing at this point. Like, Ragnarok's trying to get hits, but Shell Shock's too low, I feel.
It's a category in the Shell Shock. Maybe style.
Oh, and the hammer got ripped off. Got Kara sounding like a robot again. We got the robots in this fight. This is Judgment Day.
This sucks.
You're back. You're back. You're back for now.
Yeah, this is rough. Shellshock being thrown into the wall now.
Yeah, but all Ragnarok is at this point is a wedge. That hammer getting ripped off definitely gave Shellshock some points, I'd imagine. But I don't know. I don't know who won this. But this fight is probably going to go to the judges with 10 seconds left on the clock. And well, Ragnarok's definitely shown some control. I don't know. I'm sorry, judges. I hope we could figure this out. This one had a pretty good back and forth. Shellshock thankfully wasn't as wobbly as it normally is, but that said, it still was a bit on the wobbly end. And Ragnarok never really capitalized too much. They just kind of rammed them a bit. But Shellshock was adamant on actually doing damage, and eventually even ripped off Ragnarok's hammer, which makes it a bit closer than I thought, but I really don't know what direction to go in this fight. I guess we'll have to see what the judges think. The decision is in, and we have a split decision. Judge Zaza scored the battle in favor of Ragnarok. Judge Smurf scored the battle in favor of Shellshock. And Judge Green Square scored the battle in favor of our winner, Shellshock. Well, that's an upset if I haven't heard one before, but wowee. I don't know. Do you agree with the decision? Let me know. Moving on. Shellshock moves on to 1-1, and Ragnarok sinks to an unfortunate 0-2, but enough about that. We have our main event, which I'm so excited for. We have P1 and we have Glitch. Two phenomenal machines that should be very interesting to see in the arena together. Both these robots are 1-0 with knockouts over pretty decent opponents. P1 won its first fight against Beta by flipping it over in under a minute. It might be the fastest knockout of the season so far. I'm not 100% sure, but either way, it was very dominant on their part, and it looked very good. Glitch, on the other hand, fought Quasar for its first fight, where it also got a pretty dominant knockout. So, this fight, in theory, should be quite the slugfest. I hope P1 can handle hits from that crazy egg beater spinner from Glitch, but Glitch does have problems running upside down, so P1 could prove to be an issue for Glitch. I'm not sure who to even predict in this fight, but there's only one way to find out, and that's to get to it. Here we have a Glitch versus P1 in this main event. Well, these robots are sitting pretty at 1-0. I mean, this is Glitch's first tournament, but their first fight was very impressive, and
immediately P1 has lost some part of it. The fork off the front.
Oh yeah, they're getting ripped to shreds, but P1
and it's thrown itself out of the arena.
Okay, well, can they get back out?
Shades of Mute throwing itself out of the arena on the front hinge. Can they get back in? They're trying to, and they're back in.
Glitch showing why they got a main event for their second fight ever. P1, they made the round of 16 last season and had a pretty good record, so this is definitely going to be an interesting fight. P1 trying to get underneath Glitch, but having a hard time doing so.
Both these robots extremely low to the ground, and P1 missing its forks. It's only going to be even harder for it to get under Glitch.
Yeah, they're trying to avoid Glitch's forks and try to get under the side, which, they do. They flip Glitch into the wall.
Intimidator able to get it almost over the wall.
Yeah, he's praising Dale and raising hell right now, and Glitch can glitch self right. Usually they can with their spinner, but it looks like they're having a hard time doing so. P1 needs to be careful, because they could be knocked out at any moment. It is an awkward shape indeed. Right, you are.
That's a strange shape to try to get up and over the wall. You have to get it at such an angle, and I think it's stuck against the wall now. Flips off of P1.
P1 going for it. And, oh, they're underneath, and oh, they flip Glitch into the wall again.
Which almost slotting itself between the walls. That would have been it, but able to get itself back into the arena. Now another big throw from P1.
P1 is driving this fight masterfully, because I think if they get hit a few more times, they're probably out. But so far, they're keeping alive. Oh, they're throwing Glitch into the wall. They want to avoid that big egg beater spinner.
P1 being very careful here with how it approaches Glitch with it upside down like this. This is all the advantage in the world to P1, but I think Glitch's weapon is dragging it into the wall and it back up and over just barely in time for the count out of the turret.
Can Glitch get back in? Can Glitch get back in? I don't know. That was some masterful driving from P1.
Fantastic driving by the man in black. Praising Dale to victory.
Oh yeah, praise Dale, brother. I mean, Glitch, I think that they're
done.
They're definitely done, and P1 showcasing why it made the round of 16 last season, and they're well on their way this season too. Starting out their season with a 2-0 record, and Glitch can bounce back, but we'll see. What a fight this was. Glitch definitely had the edge early on, doing lots of damage to P1 and getting underneath him and sending him flying. Even one point where P1 got knocked out of the arena, and I thought it might have been over, but they got back in and staged what I would consider to be one of the craziest comebacks of the whole season, eventually flipping Glitch around as they're quite regularly about to be knocked out, and just showcasing some of the greatest driving of the season so far, and then knocking Glitch out of the arena, which you just love to see. Some fantastic driving from P1, and truly a great win to take them to a pretty 2-0 record. Now that was an exciting episode. Underdogs showcasing their potential and just some fantastic fights to boot. Lots of destruction, and you love to see it. And that main event was delightful. But that's it for this episode. Next episode is episode 11, and in fact, I think I'm going to show you the fight card for the next episode right now. Here it is, and all of its glory, and I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this episode as well. Be sure to tune in next time for 8 more action-packed fights. And subscribe to the channel, like the video, and join the Discord server to keep in touch. Anyways, stay famous, y'all.